Roshan. But if you're viewing this, you can just call me Koobs. So welcome to this lesson, and this lesson is on the basics of straight line equations. And when we finish straight line equations, then we'll move on to some other topics. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this presentation on just the basics of straight line graphs. Thank you. We are trying to solve linear equations. So let's take an example. 2x plus 3 is equal to x plus 10 is an example of a linear equation. Now, why do we call it linear? You see, the number on top of x here is 1, and the number on top of x here is 1. In other words, the index is 1. That is why it is called linear. Secondly, to understand the basics of equations, you must know that this is called the left hand side. So in short, we just call it LHS. And this we call the right hand side. And in short, we call it RHS. So an equation has a left hand side and it has a right hand side. Now the interesting thing about an equation is that if you have the equation here, then if you add an amount on the left hand side and add the same amount on the right hand side, it will remain the same. If you subtract an amount on the left hand side and subtract the same amount on the right hand side, it will remain the same because the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. However, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to solve this by just applying the rules. If you want to know how the rules came about, then you will have to ask your coach or your teacher to explain how these rules came about. Right. We are going to move on to the next step now. Alright, so we're looking at our first example where we said 2x plus 3 is equal to x plus 10, and we want to solve this equation. So what we do, we want to bring all the letters to the left hand side. Now we can say letters to left hand side, or we can say the right word is actually unknowns to left hand side. So we want to get the unknowns to the left hand side. And then after that, what we want to do, we want to take all the numbers to the right hand side. So now when we're doing that, when we're going to take the letters to the left hand side and when we're going to take the numbers to the right hand side, we are going to use the rule of transposing. We're going to use the rule of transposing. Now when you transpose something, if you transpose plus 3, it will become minus 3. When you transpose minus 2x, it will become plus 2x. In other words, when you transpose a term, then its sign changes to the opposite. Right? So let's clear that. When you transpose a term, for example plus 3, its sign will become minus 3. If you transpose minus 2x, it will become plus 2x. Now what does the word transpose mean? Transpose means you're taking a letter from one side of the equal to sign to the other side. Or you're bringing something from one side of the equal to sign to the other side. So if you took something from the left hand side to the right hand side, you are transposing. If you brought something from the right hand side to the left hand side, you are transposing. So I think you are quite clear about what transposing means. Okay, so let's start. We're going to transpose the letters. So you got 2x here on the left hand side, which is fine because we want the letters on the left hand side. Now you're going to transpose x. So when you look at x, x is positive. Now you will tell me, I can't see a plus sign here. Well, the truth is the plus sign is understood. Understood in maths means that the plus is there but it's not written, and you must know that. So it is plus x, and when I transpose it, when I bring it this side, it will become minus x, and there's the equal to sign. So I finished deal with the unknowns. Now let's look at the numbers. I want to take this plus 3 to the right hand side. So plus 3 will become minus 3 because I have transposed it. I've taken it across the equal to sign. And then I've got plus 10 here. I want to just bring the plus 10 down. Now I'm not transposing the 10. I'm merely bringing it down on the right hand side. If you bring something down, the sign doesn't change. Only when you transpose something, then the sign changes. So plus 10 was just brought down from that step to this step. Now we come back to the left hand side. And so 2x minus x, we are adding these two terms up, or if you like, we are subtracting them. Remember, we're talking about integers these days, so that's why most of the time we will say adding. So really you're adding minus 2 and you're adding minus 1, which gives you 1. X is equal to. Now you got integers here, you're adding them up. Minus 3 plus 10 will give you plus 7. Now if you're a little lost about this, just use your scientific calculator and let it help you. So you're ending up with x is equal to 7. Now this 1x can be written like this. X is equal to 7. You can leave out that 1, you can leave out that plus because those are understood, and we have solved the equation. So an equation is solved when you end up with x is equal to some number. So that is how we solve an equation. In other words, to solve an equation, take the unknowns to the left hand side, take the numbers to the right hand side. Remember, when you transpose, the signs change. Remember, when you transpose, the signs change. Then in this stage, we were merely adding and we got x. We were adding those integers and we got plus 7. And our equation is now solved because we have ended up with x is equal to 7. Alright, we are going to move on to example 2. Alright, here we have example 2. 3x minus 5 is equal to 4x plus 10. So we transpose the unknowns to the left hand side. 3x is on the left hand side, so I'm just bringing it down. No sign change for it. But the 4x, I am transposing the 4x, you see. The 4x is coming to the left hand side. Therefore, it will become minus 4x is equal to. Now we're going to take this 5 onto the right hand side. So minus 5 will become plus 5. So we finished with that, we finished with that, we finished with that. Now we're working with this. Now plus 10, we're just going to bring it down. Now at this stage, we are adding 3 minus 4. You're adding positive 3 and negative 4. You can put it in a scientific calculator. Plus 3 plus minus 4 is equal to, and you will get minus 1x is equal to 5 plus 10, 15. Now be careful. This is not solved yet, because in example 1, I told you that an equation is solved when you end up with plus x is equal to. Now here you are ending up with minus x is equal to. So we have to do one more step. Now you're going to learn a new step. Now there's two ways to do it. You can multiply both sides by minus 1. So you can multiply both sides by -1. So -1 times -1 will give you +1. So we ended up with +1 here. -1 times 15 will give you -15. So if I want, that is x, because I can leave those two out. X is equal to, but minus, you can never leave out the minus. The minus is still there. So x is equal to -15. So remember, when you reach a stage like this, minus x is equal to 15, then multiply both sides by -1. So -1 times -1 gives you +1. -1 times 15 gives you -15. And then I'm allowed to leave these two things out because it's understood, and I can say x is equal to -15. If in the exam you leave the answer like this, it will still be marked right. Alright, so that was number 2. Alright, let's look at number 3. Now, alright, so here we have 6x minus 1 is equal to 4x plus 9. We want to bring the unknowns to the left hand side. So there's 6x, I am just bringing it down. And then 4x, which is actually plus 4x, the plus is understood. Understood means it is there, but it is not written. So the plus is understood. So it's plus 4x there, it will become minus 4x here, is equal to. So we finished with that, and we finished with that. Now we're going to take the -1, we want to take it on to the other side. So the -1 will become +1. We are transposing the -1. Plus 9. We just brought down the 9. That's why the sign of the 9 doesn't change. We're just bringing it down. If you bring anything down, the sign doesn't change. If you transpose something, the sign changes. Alright, so here we got 2x is equal to 1 plus 9, 10. Now we got 2x is equal to 10. So the problem is not solved yet. The equation is not solved yet. So what we have to do now is divide. So I'm going to leave that step. I'm just rewriting it again here to show how I'm dividing. Now I divide by 2 and I divide by 2. You must divide both sides by the same number. The number was 2. So divide both sides by 2. So 2 divided by 2 gives you x. 10 divided by 2 gives you 5. And our final answer is x is equal to 5. Now the example is completed. Here we have number 4. 4x minus 5 is equal to 6x plus 11. So we transpose 4x plus 6x, if it comes on this side, will be minus 6x. Minus 5, when it goes on that side, becomes plus 5. And the 11, we're just bringing it down. Now watch carefully. 4 minus 6, you're dealing with integers. Plus 4 plus minus 6 will give you minus 2. So you got minus 2x is equal to 5 plus 11, 16. So I'm going to rewrite the step here because I want to show you my division. Now, this time I've got minus 2. So I must divide both sides by minus 2. Now remember, in this stage, I'm not transposing. I am dividing. And when I divide, whatever is written there, it's minus 2 there. You divide by minus 2 here, and you divide by minus 2 here, right? So you divide both sides by minus 2. Because in this stage, we're not transposing, we are dividing. Right, now you must know your rules of integers. So a minus divided by a minus is plus. So we'll end up with plus 1. X is equal to. Again now, a plus divided by a minus. A plus divided by a minus gives you a minus. So you get minus 16 divided by 2 is 8. If you don't know all this, please use your scientific calculator. 16 divided by minus 2, and the calculator will give you minus 8. Because in this lesson, you want to learn how to solve equations. So Don't be afraid, use the calculator to help you to get these answers. So your final answer is x is equal to minus 8. We're now doing number 5. 2x minus 1 is equal to 1.5 x plus 5. So you'll see this example, some fractions have come in. Now, you must know your fractions, you must know your rules of integers. All those are basics before you can start doing equations. Anyway, don't get worried if you don't know them, because the calculator can help you. So there's your 2x, 1.5 x, if I bring it onto this side, I'll get minus 1.5 x is equal to minus 1, if I take it on that side, will become plus 1, and the plus 5, we just bring it down. Now 2x minus 1.5 x, it's like 2 minus 1.5, you end up with half x, right? Or put it in your calculator, 2 minus 1.5, 2 minus 1.5, or 2 minus 1 comma 5, because 1.5 is 1 comma 5. You'll end up with half x is equal to 6. Now, remember, an equation is solved when you end up with 1x is equal to, but we got half x here. So, like before, I'm just rewriting the step again. I've got to divide both sides by whatever is here, and the number here is half. So half divides into half, you're left with 1. So there's your 1x. Now on this side you got 6 divided, this sign means divide, that line means divide, divided by half. Now you must know your fractions. 6 can be written as 6 over 1. That's divide, and that's half. Then it is 6 over 1. Now you know that divide can be made into multiply, and then you invert 1 over 2. Invert means you turn it upside down, so it's 2 over 1. The divide is converted to multiply, and the half is inverted, so it's put upside down, so 2 goes on top, 1 goes down. And now 6 times 2 is 12, 1 times 1 is 1. So you got x is equal to 12 over 1, which is 12. So your final answer is x is equal to 12. So it doesn't matter what number appears here. In the end, if it is not 1, if it is any other number besides 1, then you have to divide both sides by that number and just follow the steps. Obviously, in this example, you can see if you don't know your basics of fractions, you're going to have a little bit of problem. But again, the calculator can help you. Alright, so that's the end of number 5. However, what I'm going to do now, let's say you use the calculator and you didn't get half. You would have got 0, 5x is equal to 6. Maybe if you didn't use fractions like this, you use the calculator like that, you'll get 0, 5x is equal to 6. Then you will say x 0, 5x is equal to 6. You're going to divide by 0, 5, divide by 0, 5. This will give you 1x is equal to. And when you put that in the calculator, 6 divided by 0, 5, the calculator will give you the answer, x is equal to 12. So don't be afraid, use the calculator to help you. That brings us to the end of number. Let's do another example that contains fractions so that we get nice and strong about it. So there's our question, x minus 5 is equal to quarter plus 1. So there's our x, and then we bring our quarter onto this side, we'll get minus quarter x is equal to minus 5. When we take it on the other side, we get plus 5, and plus 1, we just bring it down. Now, this x, the 1 is understood here. So this is really 1 minus quarter. So 1 minus quarter is 3 quarter. You can think about it like this. You had one loaf of bread, you're just taking away quarter loaf from the one loaf, you're left with 3/4 loaf of a bread. Right? So, 3/4 x is equal to 5 plus 1, 6. Now, I'm just rewriting the step here. And now I have to divide both sides by whatever number is there. So what the number here is 3/4. Alright, so I'm dividing both sides by 3/4. 3/4 divides into 3/4, I'm left with x. And here I have 6 divided by, remember this mark here means divided by 3/4. Now 6, you know, can be written as 6 over 1. Divide can be rewritten as multiplication. 3 over 4 must be inverted. So if you invert 3 over 4, it will become 4 over 3. If you invert 3 over 4, it becomes 4 over 3. So you're inverting 3 over 4, it becomes 4 over 3. Now, x is equal to 6 times 4, 24 over 3 ones, 3. Now, you've got 24 divided by 3, which gives you 8. Always use the calculator in the end to help you to check your work. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to give you a little exercise to do so that you can practice whatever. Alright, so here is exercise 1 for you to complete. Number 1, 5x plus 2 is equal to 4x plus 12. Number 2, 5x minus 7 is equal to 6x plus 2. Number 3, 5x minus 2 is equal to 3x plus 10. Number 4, 3x plus 5 is equal to 2.5x plus 10. And number 5, x minus 9 is equal to quarter x plus 3. Now you should take them down, work them out, and take them down, switch off the DVD, work them out, and then come back to the DVD and we will work them out again for you to show you how you should have worked it out and what the answers are. Alright, so go and enjoy this exercise. Alright, stop the DVD and complete the exercise. Alright, so let's hope you finished that exercise. So here are your solutions to exercise 1. So this was the first example. So you're supposed to write 5x minus 4x is equal to minus 2 plus 12. That gives you x. 1x is equal to 10. Well, this is now solved. X is equal to 10. That was number 1. X plus 2 is equal to 4x plus 12. We're now doing number 2. So, no, sorry, this is number 1. I have to do number 2. So number 2 is 5x minus 7 5x minus 7 is equal to 6x plus 2. Right, so there's your 5x, bring it down. Transpose, so it becomes minus 6x. Minus 7 becomes plus 7. And the plus 2, you just bring it down. Now 5 minus 6, put in the calculator, check it up, you'll get minus 1x is equal to 9. Now this is not complete. Now we have to divide both sides by minus 1. So I have to divide here by minus 1. I have to divide here by minus 1. So that becomes plus 1x. Minus divided by minus is plus. 1 divided by 1 is 1. X is equal to. Now 9 divided by minus 1 will give you minus 9. If you know it, great. If you don't know, put it in the calculator and check it out. So the final answer here is x is equal to minus 9. Alright, number 3, 5x minus 2 is equal to 3x plus 10. There's your 5x in the right place. Transpose the 3x, it will be minus 3x. So we finished with that, we finished with that. Sometimes we tick it like that so that it becomes easy for us. Then the minus 2 will go on that side, so that becomes plus 2. And then the plus 10 just comes down. So when something comes down, the sign doesn't change. When something is transposed, then the sign changes. So 5x minus 3x will give us 2x is equal to 2 plus 10, 12. Now, I've got to divide both sides by 2 because there's 2 here. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So, you'll get 1x is equal to 6, which means x is equal to 6. That was number 3. Now you'll see that I am jumping one step now because you are used to this now. See? So I'm jumping one step here and continuing. There we have number 4. 3x plus 5 is equal to 2.5x plus 10. So don't look at fractions and get frightened. Just relax. 3x. When that comes aside, you'll get minus 2.5x. So we finished with that, we finished with that. Now plus 5, when it goes that side, it will become minus 5. This we are transposing. But the plus 10, we're just bringing it down. So nothing changes. Now 3 minus 2.5 will give you half x is equal to. Minus 5 plus 10 will give you plus 5. Now you must know your integers. Now x is equal to, well, I'm going to write the step again because I don't want any confusion here now. I wrote that step down here again. I'm going to divide by half and I'm going to divide by half. So I'm dividing both sides by half. Half divided by half, I'm left with x. Now here I've got 5. This is divide by half. So that will be 5 divide will be convert divide to multiply, invert half, you get 2 over 1. Obviously the 5 is supposed to be written as 5 over 1. So the final answer is 5 times 2, 10 over 1 times 1, 1. And 10 over 1 is 10. So that's the end of number 4. Number 5, x minus 9 is equal to quarter x plus 3. Once again, don't look at fractions and get frightened. Relax, be cool. Right, there's your x, it's on the right side, in the right place. Bring the quarter x this side, it becomes minus quarter x is equal to. So we finished with that, we finished with that. Minus 9, take it on that side, becomes plus 9. And the plus 3, we just bring it down. So we're finished with everything. Now, x means 1x. So 1 minus quarter is 3/4. X, right, is equal to 9 plus 3, 12. Now again, to avoid confusion, I'm rewriting that step here. And now I'm going to divide. I've got to divide by 3/4 here and there. So I'm dividing both sides by 3/4. So there's the 3/4, there's the 3/4. Write it down. Always do your work step by step. 3/4 divided by 3/4, 1 time. Now here you got 12. 12 means 12 over 1. That's a division sign. This line means divide. Divide by 3/4. So x is equal to, you see I'm allowed to leave out that 1 because it's understood. 12 over 1, divide, convert to multiply. 3 over 4, invert it, upside down, 4 over 3. So 12 times 4, 48. 1 times 3, 3. Now x is equal to 48 divided by 3, which is 16. If you don't know that 48 divided by 3 is 16, please put it in the calculator and let the calculator help you. So your final answer is x is equal to 16. All right. If you didn't get them right, don't get worried. Just go back and see where you made the mistake. Try to find your fault. And if you see you made a mistake in the fraction example, then go back to the DVD, see the fraction example that I did for you before again, and then try to do the exercise again. All right, so we're going to move on now to some other examples on linear equations. Now what we're going to do, we're going to call this section 2. We'll call this section 2 because we're learning something different now, but still with linear equations. Now in section 2, the equation is going to contain a bracket. So before you learn how to do this example, you must know how to remove a bracket. In other words, if I gave you 5 into x plus 4 and told you remove the bracket, well, remove the bracket means multiply. See? So if I told you remove the bracket, it means you must multiply. So if you're multiplying 5 times x, you see you multiply here. 5 times x will give you 5x. And then you're multiplying 5 times plus 4. So 5 times 4 will give you 20. So that's removing the bracket. 5 times x, 5x. 5 times 4, 20. So that's the meaning of removing the brackets, and you must know this section. If you don't know this section, you must go back and look at the DVD on removal of brackets. Now we're going to assume that you know how to remove brackets. So if we take this example again now, if we take this example, 12x minus 3 is equal to 3 into 3x plus 10. So your first job is to remove this bracket. So this side, you're just rewriting it just like that. You're only rewriting it. That's all. And then you're removing the brackets. So 3 times 3x will give you 9x. See? 3 times 3x. Then 3 times 10 will give you 30. Now you must be careful. Plus times plus is plus. So if there's a minus sign, be very careful and remember your minus sign and plus sign rules, etc. Now it became an ordinary equation. See? So this equation had one extra step. Now from here you know it's very easy. 12x minus 9x is equal to 3 plus 30. Then we add here and we get 3x. We add here, we get 33. Then I'm going to skip the step. I divide both sides by 3. You see? Divide by 3, divide by 3. 3 divides into 3 one time, we're left with 1x is equal to 33 divided by 3 gives you 11. So your final answer is 11. So in this question, there was only one new thing. There was a bracket. You must know how to remove brackets. That's a basic. You must know it. You must practice it. If you forgot, go back, look at the previous DVD that we have on removal of brackets and make yourself strong. Then come back to do the example. And in this example, only one new step, and that is remove the brackets And remove the brackets really means multiply. So the brackets are gone. And then we follow the normal steps and we get the answer. Alright, I'm going to do another example again containing brackets. Alright, so here's another example with brackets. Now the brackets can be on any side. It could be on the left hand side, it could be on the right hand side, it can be on both sides. So I've got to remove the bracket. 3 times x, 3x. 3 times plus 2 is plus 6 is equal to 5x plus 20. So step 1, we removed the brackets. Now after this it is straightforward. 3x transpose minus 5x. So we finish with that, we finish with that. Plus 6 transpose becomes minus 6. We finish with that. And then we just bring down the 20. Now integers, be careful. 3 minus 5 will give you minus 2x, right? Get your calculator to help you here, minus 2x. But it is far better to be able to do it without a calculator. 3x minus 5x minus 2x. Minus 6 plus 20 plus 14. Okay, so now we have to divide both sides by minus 2. Remember, you must divide by whatever number is here. So it's minus 2 here. So you divide by minus 2, you divide by minus 2. You see, in this step, we're not transposing, we are dividing. So when you divide, you just divide by whatever the number is there. Right? And the sign doesn't change. So you're dividing this minus 2 here, you divide by minus 2, you divide by minus 2. And then minus 2 divides into minus 2 gives you plus. Because a minus divided by minus is plus. 1x is equal to. Now you've got to know your integer rules. Well, if you don't know the integer rules, get your calculator to help you. But otherwise, plus divided by minus is minus. 14 over 2 is 7. So our answer is x is equal to minus 7. Alright, so you can have some fun removing brackets in these kinds of examples. Alright, so here's exercise 2. Just 2 little examples for you to try. The first example, number 1, 8x minus 4 is equal to 6 into x plus 5. Second example, 7 into x plus 2 is equal to 3x minus 14. You see, when we have a bracket like this, 7 bracket x plus 2, in maths we say 7 into x plus 2. So you know it means 7 open bracket x plus 2 close bracket. Alright, so here are the 2 examples. Take them down, switch off the DVD, work them out, and then return to the DVD for us to mark them for you. Have some fun. Welcome back. Here are the answers for exercise 2. So if you look at the first example in exercise 2, 8x minus 4, we just write it down. And then we multiply here. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 5 is plus 30. Now we have to bring the unknowns on the left hand side. So there's 8x, we just brought it down. So nothing changes when you bring something down. But this one we're going to transpose it, so it's minus 6x. Then the minus 4 we're going to transpose it, so it'll become plus 4. Minus 4 will become plus 4. And the 30, we're just bringing it down, therefore nothing changes. 8x minus 2x, in other words 8 minus 6 gives you 2. 2x is equal to 34. See, 4 plus 30, 34. And then x is equal to, well, you're taking your 2x and your 34, you're dividing by 2, dividing by 2. You're left with x is equal to 17. Alright, so that's your final answer for the first one. X is equal to. Alright, so there's your second example. Don't worry about that little 3 that is written here. That was a little mistake. Just forget about it. There's your question 2. So I have to remove the brackets on this side. So 7 times x will give me 7x. 7 times 2. You see, it's plus 7 times plus 2, which gives you plus 14 is equal to. And then the 3x and the minus 14, I'm just bringing them down, so nothing changes. Now I'm going to transpose. There's my 7x, and when I bring the 3x on this side, it will become minus 3x. So I finished with that, I finished with that. Now this 14 plus 14, when I transpose it, it's minus 14, right? And then this minus 14, I'm just bringing it down, so no sign change, it just stays the same. Now we subtract here and we get 4x is equal to. Now you got minus 14 minus 14. So what that really means, you're adding them up. You can put them in a calculator, minus 14 plus minus 14, and you get minus 28. Or if you like, you can say I owe 14, so altogether I owe 28. And now at this stage, you need to divide. So I need to divide here by 4, and I need to divide here by 4. So I can skip a step, I can leave out one step and just say, right, let me divide by 4 here, let me divide by 4 here. So you get 4 divided by 4, 1x is equal to. Now be careful, minus 28 divided by plus 4. You see the 4, the plus sign is understood. So a minus divided by a plus is a minus. So you should know these rules. If you don't know, get the scientific calculator to help you. Minus 28 divided by plus 4 gives you minus 7. So your final answer is x is equal to minus 7. Alright, so those were the solutions to exercise. Let's call this section 3. And what we're doing here, we're learning how to cross multiply. That's what we're doing. We're learning how to cross multiply. So I will give you some examples. Let's take example 1. You got x over 3 is equal to 4 over 12. Now, this is also an equation. It is an equation. It has a left-hand side. It has a right-hand side. And you want to solve for x. So, very important now, you must understand. This is a fraction and this is a fraction. So, if you've got one fraction on the left-hand side and one fraction on the right-hand side, then you can cross multiply. Now, what's the meaning of cross multiply? It means you're going to multiply like this. You're going to multiply x by 12 and you're going to multiply 3 by 4. So if you multiply 12 by x, you will get 12x is equal to 3 times 4, 12. And then here you can see now, in the next step I have to divide. So in this step I now have to divide. Divide by 12, divide by 12. 12 cancels, I'm left with x. And then 12 divides into 12, and the answer is 1. You see, 12 divides into 12, you got 1 over 1, which is 1. So the final answer is 1. Let's take another example, number 2. In number 2, we got 6 over x is equal to 3 over 10. Again, you ask yourself, have I got a fraction on the left-hand side? Yes. Have I got only one fraction there? Yes. Have I got only one fraction here? Yes. If I got only one fraction here and one fraction there, then I can cross multiply. So I will multiply 6 by 10 and 3 by x. Now, when you multiply, try to keep the x on the left-hand side straight away, then there'll be less work, you see. 3 times x, 3x. So you multiply that and keep it on the left-hand side, then there's less work and you will go faster. 6 times 10, 60. And now I've got to divide both sides by 3. So divide by 3, divide by 3. So 3 divides into 3, you're left with 1x is equal to 60 divided by 3 gives you 20. So your final answer is x is equal to 20. Alright, I'm going to do a few more examples. I'll do 2 more and then give you a little exercise. Alright, so here's number 3. 5 divided by 7 is equal to x over 2. So I'm going to cross multiply. That means I'm going to multiply x by 7 and I'm going to multiply 5 by 2. Now it's better for me to multiply x by 7 and write that down here straight away. So I get 7x is equal to 5 times 2, 10. And now I've got to divide by 7 and I've got to divide by 7. Now 7 divides into 7, one time you got x. Now here you got 10 over 7. So 7 doesn't divide into 10 exactly. So you say, well, 7 divides into 10 one time and remainder 3. So it's 1 and 3, 7. So it doesn't mean your answer is always going to be a whole number. You can even have fractions, right? So 7 times x gave you 7x, 5 times 2 gave you 10. Divide both sides by 7. Then the 7 cancels with the 7, you got your 1x here. But the 7 could not divide into 10 exactly. So you got to remember your fractions. 7 divides into 10 one time. Remainder 3, 3 over 7. So this final answer is x is equal to 1 and 3 over 7. You could have written the answer like this too. Sometimes, if required, you could have left the answer like this. You could have x is equal to 10 over 7. But it will depend what you need. But this is simplified as far as possible. Alright, I'll do one more before I give you an exercise. Alright, I've got to cross multiply. Let's suppose I made a mistake and said, right, not mistake. You see, each one got our own rights. Let's suppose I said 4 times 9 and I wrote it here. 36 is equal to 3 times x, 3x, and I write it on that side, which I'm allowed to do. So there's nothing wrong with this. I can write 4 times 9 and write 36 here, 3 times x and write 3x there. Then what you have to do in the next step, because you like to see x here, you've got 2 choices. So let's transpose it. So you're going to transpose this. So that's your first choice, transpose. 3x will become minus 3x. So I transposed that. I brought it this side. Then I have to transpose this one. It's going that side. So it will become minus 36. Remember, a plus is understood. Now I have to divide. So clearly the number here is minus 3. So I have to divide by minus 3, divide by minus 3. So minus 3 divided by minus 3 gives you plus 1x. Minus divided by minus gives you plus. 36 divided by 3 gives you 12. So your answer is x is equal to 12. So it can happen that you write the number here and the unknown there, then you just apply the rules of equations and you get it right. So that's one choice. I told you you had 2 choices. Now I'm going to show you what was the other choice. You see, if you did that, if you had 36 is equal to 3x, this is by transposing. But there is another law in equation which says that if you bring everything from the right hand side to the left hand side, and you take everything from the left hand side to the right hand side, then nothing, no signs change. I'll repeat the law. There is a law in equation which says that if you bring everything from the right hand side to the left hand side, and you take everything from the left hand side to the right hand side, then no sign changes. So if I apply that law, then everything from there is coming here. There's it, 3x. And everything from this side is going on that side. So no sign changes. And now I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3, 3 divided by 3 gives you x. 36 divided by 3 gives you 12. So whichever way you do it, you will still get the same answer. Alright, so get ready to do a little exercise. I will give you now exercise 3 to complete. Okay, so here is exercise 3. Number 1, x divided by 3 is equal to 6 divided by 9. Number 2, 5 divided by x is equal to 20 divided by 8. Number 3, 3 divided by 7 is equal to 15 divided by x. 4 over 14 is equal to x over 7. You see, we can talk differently. We can say divided by, or we can say over. It is the same. 4 divided by 14 is equal to x divided by 7, or we can say 4 over 14 is equal to x over 7. Alright.